I'm Nonito Donaire on the Kristal Hart show. Hart, Kristal. I'm gonna do it right now.
It's the Filipino Flash, Nonito Donaire, working out in New York City Kingsway Gym in prep for his upcoming fight against Omar Narvaez from Argentina. The fight takes place Saturday, October 22nd, and it is at the theater at Madison Square Garden.
Just want to thank everybody for the support and prayers. October 22nd is going to be very exciting, so I hope you guys can watch it on HBO and or come down to MSG and have a blast out there in my fight. So, but thank you guys for all the support.
And it'll be broadcast live on HBO, Boxing After Dark.
Just to be in the arena itself, I mean, just to be in that vicinity, that vicinity, in that area, Madison Square Garden is already an honor itself. I mean, the history that it goes to. But at this point in time, it's more of just focusing more on the opponent and defeating my opponent rather than focusing on the crowd and everybody and just how everything else around me is going. We just mainly want to focus on how hard we work and how ready we are for this fight.
What do you know about your opponent?
Aside from who he has been, I mean, he's been a world champion since I've been a world champion, or even before. He's had a lot of amateur histories. He's been really good. I mean, he's been I mean, he hasn't lost in so many years. And he's still undefeated, and that's the biggest challenge that we have is giving him his first defeat. But aside from how he fights and stuff like that, my guy Robert Garcia, my trainer, he's working on dissecting his style. But with me, it's more of what he presents in front of me is what advantage I can take and go from there and set up a plan and a trap for him. That's usually the type of fighter that I am. I'm a strategist in that ring. So whatever he gives me in that first round, if we can end it as early as the first round or as late as the 12th round, we're always ready for anything. It's just more of just defeating Narvaez, and we want to look spectacular because one thing that when I started to be where I'm at is because I accepted that boxing, as much as it's a sport, as much as it's an art for me, but it's also an entertainment. You gotta entertain the people, and that's one thing that I have in my head is that I gotta look spectacular. I've did it with Sodorenko, I did it with Montiel. I just want to keep that streak going so that they'll know more of Nonito Donaire.
In your two big fights, Darchinian and Montiel, you scored both knockouts with counter left hooks. Is that your punch? Is that something that was opportunistic, or is that something that you do, that you've been practicing on, that you've been training?
Well, I trained that hook for a long time. I mean, we've known to train that hook for Darchin because he was open with that, as well as Montiel. That's what we planned out. I mean, you can ask all my guys in the corner. I planned everything that I was into that ring. Before, I've told everyone in that second round I was going to knock him out because I have him here, I got him here, I got him here. I kind of planned it out for the guys, and I explained it exactly as how it happened or close to it. I mean, Robert can tell you everything, how I explained it and how the fight was going to end. But I mean, for this fight, we just mainly focus on being in top shape. I think that that's being off the ring for a while. I think that we needed to get in the best possible shape, and that's what the focus for this fight is, to be in the best possible shape.
Do you see similar opportunities against Narvaez?
Well, Narvaez he's a tricky fighter. He's a tricky fighter, he's a veteran, and the thing is, if Montiel was open with that right, I would have taken him out with the right, That was our first thing with Montiel, was to counter him with the right, but he was more difficult to do it, so we focused it on the left side. But with Narvaez, if he gives me that opportunity with the left hook or even with the straight, we'll take him out with it. I mean, the thing about me is that if you make a mistake in front of me, I'll make you pay for it, and that's the same thing that goes with Narvaez. If I make a mistake and I try to just not make mistakes in there, I mean, it's hard, but at least minor mistakes is fine, but not in a big mistake where he can counter me and take advantage of the situation. Well, I didn't really watch his tape. One thing that I looked at is the way he stands, and I believe that I can take a lot of advantage of of the way he stands. But then again, it's also tricky. You know, you never really know. I mean, the guy has been fighting for forever. The guy's 36 years old, and he's still undefeated. And that's the biggest thing. I mean, he's a legend in Argentina. You know, he's defended his title more than, I think, 12 times. Was it 12 times? So you know what credibility this guy has inside that ring, and that's one thing that we don't want to overlook. Just because he's shorter than I am, being short is also a lot trickier than the guys who's right in front of me or the same height. You know, so that's one thing that we never want to look past is his ability to know how to change the weather.
How does he stand? Is he more flat-footed, or just is he squared up more? When
He's pretty square up, you know. It's his back foot that I look at, his front foot that I look at where it's pointing, and because where it is wherever his back foot is pointing is where I can be on the opposite side or directly in front of where I can take advantage of. But that would rely mostly on my speed, you know, and whatever he has. I mean, like I said, I have the height advantage, the speed advantage, and the power advantage. But you know, sometimes it only takes one skill to defeat another. You know, like with me, I believe that timing can defeat speed anytime. You know, I believe power can be nullified by speed. So there's just goes around in that circle, and I try to get my talent and prepare myself in the balance of power, speed, and stamina, so that I don't have to worry about anything. You know, it's that one guy, Nishioka, that I want to face. But of course, Arce is a great name. You know, out of all those two, out of all the division title holder, I would go for those two. I think those two are incredible fighters. I have great respect for them, and especially Arce. He's ready to go to war. You know, and I'm ready to go to war. But we don't want to look past, of course, Narvaez. Well, that depends, you know. 122, how I fare with 122, then I'll move up to featherweight. If I can handle the featherweight guys like Gamboa and Juanma, you know what, I would move up to lightweight and see how I go from there. But it's a step-by-step process. Right now, what I'm thinking about is taking Narvaez and going up to 22 and see how I fare from there, and just step by step. You know, that's the glory of time is you just can do it step by step for me, and just enjoy every moment of it.
You have no trouble making weight now.
Well, I thought that I would be making a lot of trouble making this weight, you know, because I started like 2 months and a half ago at 145. You know, but that was being away from the gym for about 6 months. So it was a struggle. There was a mental struggle where, man, I don't think I can make it, man. I don't think I can make it. But I've always been true to my word that I will never ever fail to make weight. You know, if I say I'll make 112, I'll make 112. When I say I'll make 115, I'll make 115. And when I say I'll make 118, I will make 118.
There's been a lot of controversy lately with a couple of fights, the Mayweather fight, the Hopkins fights. What's your thought on that? And do you think, like, do they need another judge? Do they need replay so that, you know, just like football, that they could take a call back? Or what's your thoughts?
I think there should be a replay. I mean, to change the whole thing. I mean, if it's done wrong to a fighter, it should be overturned. You know, I think that they should have the round to replay, the referee to replay the round. You have a minute. That's a long time. Football only have like 30 seconds, I think, or 15 seconds. 30 seconds or a minute. What? Yeah, it depends on the call, I guess. But, you know, they have that. And I think that the referee, instead of just idling or anything like that, you know, they should replay if there's a controversial call that they made. They should do it. I think that it's healthy for boxing. It's good for judging. Sorry. You know, but I think it's healthy for the boxing overall. I think it'll help the sports better.
Okay. Anything you'd like to say to your fans?
Just want to thank everybody for the support and prayers. October 22nd is going to be very exciting. So I hope you guys can watch it on HBO or come down to MSG and have a blast out there in my fight. So, but thank you guys for all the support.
And I'm Kristal Hart reporting from Kingsway Gym, and see you at the fight.